Mainoo, don't let bad influences get into your head. That was the headline of an article I came across a few days ago. The piece argued that Mainoo should not follow Alejandro Garnacho's lead by acting out and pushing for a move away from Manchester United to Chelsea. Instead, it suggested that Mainoo should learn from veteran Casemiro, keep his head down, work diligently, and prove himself in order to regain a regular starting role. Sounds reasonable, right? Not to me. If Mainoo chooses that path, it would be a mistake. If he wants to prevent his career from stagnating, he needs to find a way out of Old Trafford as soon as possible. Back in the 2023 season, and even the one before that, Erik ten Hag was heavily criticized for overworking his players, especially the youngsters. Many feared that this kind of usage would inevitably lead to injuries and derail promising careers. Perhaps Ruben Amorim has learned from his predecessor's mistakes because he is being extremely cautious with Mainoo this season. So cautious, in fact, that Mainoo has played just 191 minutes in total, barely more than 2 full matches. And even that figure is misleading. When you look closely, most of those minutes came from late substitutions around the 70th or 80th minute, just enough time to jog around before the final whistle. In the match against West Ham, he wasn't even used at all.
Now, Mainoo is only 20 years old, still very young, but he doesn't need this level of overprotection anymore. Plenty of players in the same age bracket, Lamine Yamal, Arda Güler, Kenan Yildiz, are being trusted and used regularly at the highest level. The core issue is simple: Mainoo does not have a place in Amorim's current system. To be blunt, as a classic number 8, someone who excels at linking play and connecting the lines, Mainoo doesn't naturally fit into any of the roles Amorim demands. Playing as a number 6 is problematic. Physically, he is relatively small and lacks the presence Amorim wants in a defensive midfielder who must constantly engage in duels and cover large spaces like Casemiro does. If Mainoo were deployed there, he would be bullied in physical confrontations on a regular basis.
On top of that, Mainoo is not a midfielder who can cover vast defensive zones, an absolutely crucial requirement for a team that often defends in a 5-2-3 shape with very few midfielders. Yes, Casemiro is not an elite space-covering midfielder either, but comparatively, he still offers more in that regard. Amorim has little incentive to gamble on a player who is even weaker defensively in that role. Another key point: Mainoo's natural instinct is to roam, to move laterally and vertically in order to connect with teammates. That is precisely what a holding midfielder in this system is not allowed to do. The number 6 must hold position to shield the back 3. Amorim himself has openly acknowledged this issue. A glance at the heat maps of Mainoo and Casemiro makes the contrast obvious. Casemiro stays central and compact, rarely drifting wide, while Mainoo's positioning is far more expansive.
What about playing higher up the pitch? In Amorim's system, the 2 attacking midfield roles function more like inverted wingers or inside forwards. These positions demand pace, physicality, and quick decision-making to support a highly direct style of play. Mainoo lacks top-end speed and physical explosiveness, and his game is oriented toward tempo control, short combinations, and orchestration. Asking him to play as a false 9 or an attacking runner into the box to score goals would be completely illogical. That leaves only one semi-viable role, a hybrid position, either a slightly advanced number 6 or a number 8 alongside Casemiro. But that role is currently occupied by Bruno Fernandes, the team's primary creative outlet. To displace Bruno, Mainoo would have to be truly world-class. A player of that level wouldn't be sitting on the bench at Old Trafford in the first place.
Moreover, this hybrid midfield role in a double pivot demands an enormous work rate. Bruno, for all his flaws and occasional stubbornness, is undeniably relentless in his off-ball effort. Mainoo is not lazy, but he has never been particularly renowned for his intensity or endurance. Unless Bruno suffers a long-term injury, which is unlikely, Mainoo's chances of breaking into that role are minimal. That said, the lack of a suitable position is merely the justification Amorim presents to the media. The deeper reason is that Mainoo's skill set is simply not what Amorim wants from a midfielder.
Look at how Amorim sets up Manchester United. His approach is extremely direct, essentially bypassing midfield progression whenever possible. Last season, the team relied heavily on wide combinations to advance the ball. This season, it's even more vertical, long passes from deep, pushing midfielders higher up to compete for second balls. A clear example is Lenny Yoro's long ball towards Šeško, who heads it back from Mason Mount to create a high-quality chance. Regardless of the method, the objective is the same: avoid building through central midfield. As a result, Mainoo's greatest strengths, press resistance, ball carrying, receiving on the half-turn, and beating multiple opponents, are rendered almost meaningless. Those moments, like his brilliant turn and dribble against Brighton last season, simply have no place in this structure.
Even so, midfielders still play a crucial role in Amorim's attacking patterns, particularly in the classic up-back-through sequence. Up refers to a vertical pass or long ball. Back is the forward laying the ball off, and through is the midfielder delivering the decisive pass in behind.
In these situations, the midfielder must possess an exceptionally wide passing range. United currently have only 2 players who excel at this, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. Mainoo, by contrast, thrives in short, tight passing sequences. He can hit 40-50-meter passes, but not consistently. The numbers back this up. Only 37% of Mainoo's passes are medium or long range, compared to 54% for Bruno and 52% for Casemiro.
In a scenario like this, Bruno or Casemiro would instantly switch play to Ahmad, who is already holding width on the flank. Mainoo hesitates, opts for a safer pass to Joro, and only then does the ball reach Ahmad, by which point the tempo of the attack has slowed significantly. The most fundamental issue, however, is the clash in footballing philosophy between Mainoo and Amorim. Mainoo is at his most dangerous when given freedom, when he can link play organically, improvise, and produce moments of spontaneity. Think of his solo run through 4 or 5 defenders to score against Wolves, or his curling strike into the top corner during United's comeback win against Lyon.
Amorim, on the other hand, is a coach obsessed with positional discipline and rigid structure. His system relies on players adhering strictly to their zones so that automated attacking patterns function smoothly. From Amorim's perspective, Mainoo's creativity and improvisation are risks, unpredictable actions that could disrupt the collective structure. We've seen this dynamic before under other managers as well. Feel free to comment on who comes to mind. Ultimately, no matter how you look at it, a separation seems inevitable. Mainoo is a genuinely outstanding talent and could absolutely reach elite levels under the right guidance. Unfortunately, that environment has been absent at Manchester United for years and appears to be deteriorating rather than improving. So perhaps he really should listen to his bad influence friend Garnacho after all. Leave United, go somewhere you can actually develop. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.